Hey, y'all, we are going to get started a bit early. Like I said on Spoutable. Well, I haven't said it out on Spoutable yet, but it's storming. We had such a busy week that I want to get off before my husband gets off work so that we can spend some time together and relax. So we are going to get this fired up. I'm going to put the word out on Spoutable, and then we are going to get this fired off. Welcome to the Bonnet Chronicles. I'm your host, Kalari GXC. I put the word out, and you know how we do this. Whether the chat fills up or not, we are going to get this popping. Now, we're going to get started with Florida, of course. DeSantis, once again, he vetoed arts project money, thus hurting concert halls, beautification, murals and statues being made in Florida, everything that should benefit tourism. And then he decided to really go after tourism in an impactful way by his latest veto, which could have Floridians swimming in poop. You don't want to believe in 2024 that things can get this done, but when the GOP is in charge, like this goofy goober, of course you get stuff like that. Hey, Pix. I know Frenchie's about to go live too. We're getting storms here, so I wanted to get this done early, and I'm not gonna probably go the full hour, so I appreciate you sitting in. Hey, Beans. Yeah, they want to get no fault divorces tossed out. The Conservative Party has been a fucking wreck this week, and I can't wait to call all of it out because I missed Tuesday. We were downstate helping some family out, and then by the time we got home, I just did not have it in me to do Tell It Tuesday. But when I tell you that the Republicans have been on some crap, including the immunity stuff that I'm going to talk about, they really have. But it says when conservative justices on the Supreme Court overturned the Chevron precedent last week, it essentially hampered federal agencies or their experts from instituting regulations as they see fit. It's a devastating attack in the GOP's war on fact-based government, because you know they're all factos intolerant. Donald Trump's Republican Party is a cult of personality that rejects empirical data when it's inconvenient and crusades against institutions that impedes its political goals. You know, like the EPA, FDA, things that keep us safe environmentally and food-wise. Of course they're against that. And both on the national and state level, this movement is moving in sync. So, like I said, the 2025 project all over again. But Florida has already been a hot mess for a few years now. The new veto by Ron DeSantis has been proof of that. Among four vetoes by DeSantis last week, one of the bills, the bipartisan Senate Bill 165, involves beach closures over water quality. According to the Tallahassee Democrat, that's a newspaper, in a letter justifying his decision, DeSantis claimed the Florida Department of Health should not be vested with the power to supersede local jurisdictions regarding the operation of beaches. That sentence doesn't really complete the thought, does it? What he's really saying is that the department should be vested with the power to close beaches, even if it determines those beaches are rife with hazardous material that can harm beachgoers. As somebody who used to live in Florida, we had beach closures for red tide scares. We had beach closing for sewage stuff. I was just a college age kid back then, but I knew that when they closed the beach, it was because it was too dangerous to swim in the water. This veto is going to put Floridians' lives in danger. He doesn't seem to care. It's also going to make tourism dry up yet again, because why go to a coastal beach where you can literally swim in raw sewage and poop when you could go anywhere else? Like, come on. It shouldn't surprise you that this is the same guy that cut fundraiser for stormwater drainage, which Florida gets hit by massive storms from now into November. But of course, he doesn't want to pay for the drainage to properly get that out of there so that people don't get sick. While residents of the states were being battered by a tropical storm. GOP government satisfying this, y'all. Cruel and unusual lawmaking is DeSantis' modus operandi, and he has been on the veto tear since his legislation session in particular, with many of his other vetoes exhibiting far-right ideology, his far-right. The SB 165 veto is arguably the most dangerous one for Floridians. A recent study listed two of the state's beaches as being among the most polluted in the U.S. after their waters was found to have loads of harmful chemicals. It's ridiculous. Oh my goodness. On that note, with raw sewage, stormwater runoff from raw sewage. On that note, the Florida Department of Health issued a warning about other beaches due to potential fecal pollution, which is poop. And after finding high traces of literally sickening bacteria, Enterococcus, which is often found in human stool. Just another day in the life of Ron DeSantis, Florida's anti-rule crusader, owning the libs, undermining government institutions. Also, Floridians can keep their right to backstroke in poopy water that may make them ill. And I hate to open with something like that, but it goes to show you how dangerous their ideology has become. And it is because they feel they're untouchable. Now, I have this video here talking about the immunity stuff that everybody's been going on this week. Because as you know, the Supreme Court has given Trump limited immunity, I think, until November. Because he has 91 indictments in in Georgia, based on the election misappropriation and sedition charges. Now, Georgia, under Fannie Willis, did a postpone of pushing for the trial. The indictments are still standing. They're still going to have the trial, but while he's running for president, yes, they put it on hold. I even talked about it with my partner because he doesn't seem to think it was fair for them to do that either, when the man is clearly caught in 4K instigating the January 6, 2021 insurrection. And on top of that, kept pushing the stop the steal lie about his voting I'm getting the word wrong. Come on. Irregularities. There. 10 words. You know them. But because of these irregularities that he was trying to say cost him the election, when no, it was 20 million more of us saying, hey, we don't want you in the White House anymore. He legitimately tried to stymie the voter process, and he is being indicted on that, intimidation of poll workers, and many other charges in regards to the 2020 elections. Now, I know in a fair world he would have been in jail, especially since he was convicted for the hush money thing. In a fair world, we wouldn't be even fighting with this man to be doing the right thing, turn himself in, and not be running for president. But we are in the digital dark age, and it's a literal bizarre world. So this man getting the temporary immunity may not be what he thinks it is, but it plays into what I was saying about him thinking of himself as a literal crime boss. And okay, Pix, no problem. I will have it up on YouTube as well. Thank you for sitting there, honey. The thing is with Trump is what he thinks is going to get him a get out of jail free card is literally more than likely going to harm him. He seems to already think President Biden has a campaign against him, is the judge against him, which cognitive features, man? No. It's your actions. And I'm hoping beyond all hope that you finally have a consequence for your actions. But we got a 3-minute video here. Lawrence O'Donnell is interviewing somebody about the SCOTUS immunity. Because let I remind you again that Doofus, when he was in charge as the 45th president, stacked our court with Beer Guy and Handmaiden, along with Alito, whose wife is questionable, and Clarence Thomas, who can be bought. So we have a lot to go against proper civil norms. And of course, they will rule that he has temporary immunity because he was technically president still during the January 6, 2021 insurrection. But tick-tock, motherfucker, we're coming for you.
I want to read Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's the conclusion of her opinion. She says the majority of my colleagues seem to have put their trust in our court's ability to prevent presidents from becoming kings through case-by-case application of the indeterminate standards of their new presidential accountability paradigm. I fear that they are wrong, but
not only that, not to interrupt him, but not only are they wrong, you're literally dealing with a man who wants to treat the White House as his personal slush fund, as a way to intimidate off and do awful things to his enemies, which just means anybody that votes against him or has a different belief system as him. He is literally a pawn and puppet for the Project 2025. And this is the Supreme Court literally trying to act like we're not trying to make a king because there's checks and balances. But we're going to push those checks and balances to the side to get the kind of king president we want.
For all of our sakes, I hope that they are right. In the meantime, because the risks and power the court has now assumed are intolerable, unwarranted, and plainly antithetical to bedrock constitutional norms, I dissent.
Yeah.
Dissent language doesn't get stronger than that.
And need I remind you that Justice Ketanji Jackson Brown graduated from both Harvard and Yale, was top of her class, and is a Biden appointee.
Well, the language couldn't get stronger because it deserves to be enormously strong. That language was uttered just 3 days before Independence Day. In several days, we will celebrate the nation's survival of a revolution against kings and queens.
Yep.
We had a revolution so that we wouldn't have a king.
Historically speaking, if we wanted to be under the monarchy, we would have stayed under England. We did not. And we should not be going backwards like the Supreme Court wants us to with this ridiculous ruling. But like I said, it's temporary immunity. So you can't get too upset by it. I mean, I'm personally offended that they would do this, but it's not going to save Trump's bacon. He is caught in 4K. And I want Lindsey Graham to explain that too. What the fuck was he doing in Moscow July 4th, 2018? But so many of them are compromised, and not just Republicans. Because if you remember that lady who raised $1 million to recount stuff in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was cheated out of the presidency, that Sherry or Stein chick, that Jill Stein chick, was featured in Moscow, took pictures in Moscow, and ran off with people's money. You didn't get that voter retally either. There was a lot of compromise by the Putin process politicians, and it's scary that they could get into power and literally carve up our world.
And now the Supreme Court says, that's what we're giving you. I don't think we should accept that present
at all.
But it seems to me that all that does is basically put the court on the ballot this November. We have to decide whether we want the kind of government that Donald Trump has helped us have by appointing 3 members to this court, because 3 of the members of the majority were appointed by him.
Yep, on purpose. And McConnell, don't forget McConnell called this shit too.
Ought to have recused themselves, Alito and Thomas.
Yep.
That's 5 justices. And it's those 5 who ultimately decided that even the evidence of official acts couldn't be used to show what the president was up to when he used his official powers. Because motive supposedly doesn't matter, but motive is everything.
Exactly.
Whether a president gave a pardon in return for a bribe depends on whether he was doing it as a corrupt matter or whether he was giving a pardon because he thought someone deserved mercy. As Justice Barrett pointed out, you can't really make sense of the quid without the quo, and yet under the incoherent decision of the majority, you can prove
point blank he's caught in fucking 4K doing his criminal acts. Yeah, we're all supposed to pretend that we don't see it. Just look away. Don't pay attention to it. We want to keep things interesting. I just want stability in politics. And I don't care if you want to go ageism against President Biden. He's doing the thing. He has a strong administration, a strong cabinet, and this man needs to be able to continue to do what he's doing versus this man-child who is literally a convict, continuously looking to drive this country into the ground to make sure that his pockets stay fat. It's ridiculous that we are even here. I feel like we're in the 9th circle of hell.
Transfer of money, but you can't prove anything about the pardon that was given in exchange. That's the kind of thing that makes this decision so incoherent. Yep. And what makes it really dangerous is that even if we eventually get over Trumpism and the MAGA movement, we will have to rely on the good character of future presidents, because the law will no longer serve as a source of inhibition.
Exactly.
That's dangerous. That's a prescription for autocracy and eventually for authoritarianism and dictatorship.
And that's exactly what the GOP want at this point. They laid it out boldly with Project 2025. They are not playing with this. They do not want a healthy democracy. They do not want free and fair elections. They want to control everything. And it's scary that we keep acting like this can't get worse. It can and it will if we don't do our part. Okay, that was it for that one. And I'm telling you, it's no surprise because Trump wants to act like a mob boss. I think he fantasizes that he's in like Forever Goodfellas, threatening President Biden, as this article showed, because his buddy Bannon, who helped with the January 6th, 2021 insurrection, is going to jail for contempt because he was supposed to come and testify. And he was like, I'm above the law, and apparently he's not. And now he's doing jail time. But Trump says Biden will pay a very big price as Bannon heads to prison. And it's like, are you literally threatening a sitting active president? It used to be you would go to serious jail for that. And since you're already a convicted felon, that would be your second strike. I know you like to bring that up against Joe a lot, but you're the convicted felon, Trump. Keep it clean. I just can't believe that people are acting like this is fucking normal. There is literally nothing normal about this. And they talk about the president not having immunity. It's crazy. Well, on the same day, his close ally and former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon reported for prison for open contempt of Congress. Former President 45 again blamed President Joe Biden for what he claims is a weaponization of the justice system from the man who literally stacked the SCOTUS. Okay, thank you, focus. Suggesting that Biden is going to pay a big price. President Biden, at that asshole, is not going to pay a big price for you. Your threats are as floppy as your fucking ties. Let's see. Oh, this is pure weaponization, Trump said in an interview on a local radio station in Virginia on Monday, claiming that Bannon's prison sentence is an attempt by his opponents to silence him. If it's Bannon going to prison, how is it trying to silence you, Trump? Are you trying to say that you would shake down people by throwing people close to them in prison? Maybe we should hold up a mirror at all this projection. Look at that mug. He really thinks he's above the law. What they've done to this country is unthinkable. Biden's going to pay a big price for it, I believe. By who? By you? Is that a threat? You punk? Because I think people are going to say, wow, you've opened a Pandora's box. This is a terrible thing that they opened up. They've unleashed us. He says words that don't fucking make sense. I just don't even understand it. Bannon was sentenced to 4 months in prison on October 2022 after he was found guilty of defying a subpoena to the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6 attacks on behalf of the United States Capitol. And this goofus thinks it's personal. President Biden is not the AG, you big dum-dum. I just do not even understand how this man continues to function without a brain. Bannon surrendered to law enforcement on Monday to begin his 4-month sentence in Danbury, Connecticut's federal prison. He's only doing 4 months, man. They act like he's going away for life. Let's see. They denied his request to remain out of prison during the appeals process, because no, fuck you. You're insurrectionists. Other insurrectionists are in jail too. You shouldn't have played the game if you didn't want to lose the fuck around and find out challenge. Trump's latest comments suggest Biden will pay a big price again. He repeated himself in the wake of his ally surrender and continuation on his rhetoric of retribution, a concept that has become one of the central themes of his 2024 re-election campaign as he faces multiple criminal indictments and several legal battles, which he's already lost two. Jeannie Carroll's getting millions from this motherfucker that he had to put up front because he's a doofus who couldn't keep it in his pants. The hush money trial did not end in his favor. And he still got 91 indictments in the South Fanny's waiting for you. Come November when you lose again, motherfucker. But what I'm worried about more than anything is even betting on him losing this 2025 project wants the Supreme Court to undo stuff so that if they manage to get a charismatic GOP, which I don't think they're going to out of this current pool, but if they manage to do it, we are fucked. That is why I say we have to vote in every election. It fucking matters. Use the power that has been given to you. But people want to play games. It's not their lives on the line, apparently, allegedly. But I'm telling you, even if you think you're MAGA loyal, eventually the chips will fall your way. And you can tell by the people sitting in jail after January 6, 2021, that this man don't give a fuck about any of you. But keep holding the water for him, I guess. Asked about the former president's comments, Trump's campaign national press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, of course a handmaiden, President Trump was referring to the very big price Joe Biden will pay on November 5th. Just like the retribution that people brought up during the debates was just going to be him winning. We know what you mean, man. We're not as stupid as your loyal followers. When the American people overwhelmingly vote to evict him from the White House. You mean like we did you in 2020, motherfucker? As President Trump has repeatedly stated, he's not the president, former president. His retribution will be victory, success, and make America great again. Get the fuck out of here. His retribution isn't going to happen because he's literally a convicted criminal. And I'm going to pivot over to some fun before we wrap this up. I apologize for it being short, but literally, I keep hearing thunder. I know the storm is coming. I want to keep this succinct. We will be back, hopefully in full form next week. I just got a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. I should be home by the afternoon. Other than that, we should be good to go for Tell It Tuesday and Friday Bonnet Chronicles full. But Beans is the one that hit me up to this. And I have been watching these shorts and cartoons for a bit. This is Dark Brandon. We are going to just look at a couple of these based on his or their feelings on the MAGA stuff. And yeah, by the time they figure out they're not protected beans, it's going to be too late for them. They are being good little foot soldiers for fuckery. And like I said, I can only save me and mine now. I can't worry for people who are willingly allowing themselves to be lambs to the slaughter for this right-wing cause that really hurts them more than anybody else. But we're going to get some Dark Brandon on because when I say I was hollering at some of these shorts, it is just hilarious. So let's get some MAGA morons of America. There's 1 to 13. We'll watch a couple of these before we wrap it up. And I'll just give my opinion on how amazingly talented Dark Brandon is.
You guys are amazing. If without you all, we wouldn't even get the real truth of what's going on with.
That's it. Fucking shirt says, hopefully my son will be a convicted felon too. This is the level of dumb we're actually up against, y'all. That's why I said, it's not like we have to do anything but outvote them. They're not strategical intellectuals here.
Trump, and we wouldn't be able to see everything like we do with you guys. And I also wanted to share a little story. My son is born on the same day as Trump. And when I was holding my son, Benny, back in 2005, watching The Apprentice, like binge watching The Apprentice, and I just knew something was special about Trump, that he would be something. I always...
Not her baby that she's holding while she's been watching TV. But she knew that a man by then, in his late 60s, almost 70s, was going to be something. Man, the orange Kool-Aid must be really toxic for the brain.
Saw him as a powerhouse, but I never, in my wildest dreams, thought he would be a president. And then next thing you know, he's president, and I realized, oh my God, he shares the same birthday as my son.
Wow.
Who I held and watched all that Apprentice stuff, it was mind-blowing to me. And the fact that they were both born on Flag Day. Because I thought, when my son was born, I was like, oh, I have an all-American boy. I'm so proud that he...
And this is sad because these people are really like this. But for real, the media could, Beans, but sadly, a lot of the people who own blocks of the media are idiots like Trump, like the guy who owns CNN, like that one group that continuously buys up blocks of local news stations. There is so much going on with our fourth estate that has broken it. And instead of shining a light on how this man should not be allowed to run again, how he shouldn't have been able to run and allegedly win in the first place in 2016, we continue to act like what he's doing is normal. And there is nothing normal about this. But when you see, this is a profile of the kind of person that would follow him into the depths of Hades, mind you.
He was born on Flag Day, but I just think it's more than coincidence. I feel like
and as an actual fellow Gemini, I hate the fact that his birthday's so close to mine to say that. He's not like us.
Lord was pointing me, Trump, watch Trump, keep your eyes on Trump, he's going to be something. And I even gave you a son that was born on his birthday. It's just more than a coincidence.
She said she gave him a son that was born on his birthday. And like I said, Beans, it is funny. I and Tupac Shakur are June 16th. K-Dot is June 17th. It's funny how we just take people out with our words. It's just natural to us. Ooh, that adds out.
This new product slushy that
If Donald Trump loses again, what would that mean for you, and what do you think that would mean to the country?
Honestly, I think if he loses again...
Oh, nice.
I just think it's going to be a very bad thing. I do. I think the taxes are going to go up. I think the border might get worse, and the gas prices won't... I mean, when Trump was in House... We had cheap gas. We had our own people making gas. And Joe Biden closed that pipeline down the first day he signed it.
So she's already saying we had our people making gas. They were fracking indigenous lands for that pipeline shit. And yes, we stopped that because it's dangerous to our environment. I know a lot of people like this that are like, well, we can't have clean energy. How will people make money? We'd have a cleaner environment. Isn't that a bit more important than the capital gains? Like,
all those thousands of people losing their jobs. I just think it's going to be...
Yet we are today drilling more oil, domestic oil, than we ever have in the history of the country.
I don't think so.
Alex Jones.
No, we are. That's what
Where are they drilling at?
Throughout the country, offshore, Alaska. That's a fact. I'm not making that.
No, I know that. But what about our own country though? We were doing it in our own country. Making our own gas here. We didn't have to.
We're still doing it in our own country, but this is the level of stupid we are literally up against. And like I said, I don't like the apartheid edgelord. I hate that he uses Tesla's name in vain like that. But if we had followed Nikola Tesla over Edison, we'd be a completely advanced society. But here we are. We chide the smart and intellect, and then we uplift the stupid. I don't understand. It's like real life idiocracy.
To go to another country, you know what I'm saying? We had it here. So.
Wow.
But we're drilling it here now is what I'm saying.
It's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
We're going to watch one more, y'all, and then I'm going to wrap it up because, like I said, even in comic form, they irk my soul.
Not for me. I'm with him to the finish.
Make
he
America
could stand on the front steps of the White House and commit murder, and I'm with him.
Wow.
Look,
that's true, though. Sadly,
he's the only man
every person I personally know, and there's not that many because I don't fuck with them, but even around here, because I live in the rural part of Michigan now, these people would follow him to hell, and I don't understand it. They really think he's going to give them the ability to be open-faced racist again. They're going to be mega billionaires supporting him. And the 4 years of loss that we had, including COVID, was not enough to open their eyes to how awful this man is. They listen to him, and they really see themselves in him. It's fucking scary.
I've ever had in my lifetime that stood for America as president.
Really?
Now, I was a George Herbert Walker Bush man and all that, but they don't anybody compare to Donald Trump. He loves this country, and that's why I love him. I think it's got to do with the times we're living in.
Wow.
America's being assaulted. Open borders,
The immigrants
You know all
get
the
it.
issues. We all know
the
the
boogeyman.
issues. And nobody stood under the attack that Trump stood under. And look what he's done. He's hanging in there.
Stairs in, they literally burnt effigies of Barack Obama when he got elected. They created a fucking Tea Party after he got elected. I can't argue with this level of stupid.
He's for us. He loves this country. And I'm going to support him to the end. I hope he wins. We need him.
No, we
Biden,
don't.
to me,
We don't.
if he had not been a career politician, he might have been better. But he's lived in Washington all his life.
Wow.
I think we need term limits. I think we need to stop all these old people from running Washington, D.C. It's corrupt.
I opened up Trump Taj Mahal.
Wow.
Local.
All right, y'all. Like I said, even though that's parody, it is so on point for people who support that man that I can't imagine a better fitting way to wrap it up tonight. And like I said, I know it's early, and I know I only do it 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes tonight. But like I said, we got storms. I just want to relax with my hubby. We're finally going to get a little bit of alone time. And I just hope that you have a good weekend. I will be on tomorrow on YouTube to call out the heifer because apparently she can't keep my name out her mouth. And apparently her best fair weather friend likes to super chat and talk about me. And I'm going to say this one thing to you, yo mama, because I know you watch everything I do. I know it gets you hard when I even acknowledge you. I don't like you, so I don't fuck with you. I'm not going to keep playing these games. Your little super chat message to her about how I can't be a real one because I didn't get my teeth fixed before I got merchandise. I know you stalk me, so you know I've said it several times. I'm not getting the dental damage done until I get to my goal weight because unlike your heifer who lies about her weight loss, I'm doing the thing. It is personal to me to see the damage I did to myself and not cover it up. You don't understand real one energy because your ass is always fucking fucked up, allegedly. I'm not going to say what you're fucked up on because you get really big mad when people point out your little habit. But I get it. I'm not giving you the energy that she'll give you with the rages. But I'm telling you, man, I don't want to give you that energy. So you can keep yapping at me. You can keep going to her super chats, potentially get her channel fucking yeeted. Because you know she'll take the bait all the fucking time. And comparing me to Charlie Gold when she got successful calling out the heifer, I don't give a fuck about that. But if you got to keep mocking something that I put online myself, what can I say to that? You're lame. You're supposed to be bigger channel than mine, but you're fucking focused on me. Because you're desperate for any attention. But I'm going to wrap this up. I'll save the rest of this for tomorrow, except for to you, man. Because like I said, I'm done with you. My focus will always be on the heifers. I am a part of the girl world and I'm a woman. You're a part of the girl world and you're a loser who keeps trying to get other reactors to fight with you. I mean, we don't care. Cry about it. Make a parody song. Who the fuck cares? I'm not going to watch it. Either way, Beans, thank you for sitting in. Pigs, thank you for sitting in. Thank you everybody who lurks. Thank you for the people who watch me when I upload these to YouTube. I'm going to wrap this up. I will see you all on Saturday if you join me, or next week for Tell It Tuesday. Have a good, safe weekend, and I will see you soon. Thank you, Beans. Big hugs, dear.